Hey, it's Manly Parks and welcome to another episode of the Brandywine Angler. I'm walking down to my literally backyard creek for a little fishing session here, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. It's early October, it's a little bit chillier, so I got the waders on. Not totally sure what the creek temp is, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to start the day with a tiny TRD and a 1/30th ounce sort of Shrooms jig head micro finesse collection from Z-Man. It's a little bit bigger than the other micro finesse lures, and I'm hoping that I might be able to target a little bit bigger class of fish in our creek. If I use the other micro finesse lures, I can catch some really small little fish. It is also possible with this bigger lure, I'll have the little fish bothering it and won't be able to hook any. So I guess we'll find out. First fish, tiny fall fish. Tiny remains the theme with fish number 2. Look at how malnourished this guy is. No belly on him at all. Weird. So fish number 3 is a little bit nicer fall fish. Let me get him back. He's wiggly. So just to give you an idea, this is very shallow water, very clear, and yeah, I don't expect anything big to be in here. I'm a little surprised at how shallow it is. It's probably a good foot shallower than normal, but we haven't really had much rain recently, so I guess that stands to reason. Another red breast for fish number 4. Similarly, a pretty thin belly. He needs to stock up for the winter. Fish number 5, and that's a little more like it. That guy's got some weight to him. Fish number 6, it's a little guy again. Still fun though, and very pretty. So for these last few fish, I've just been casting directly upstream of myself, and then I'm just letting it sit on the bottom after closing the bail, and I wait a second or two and a red breast comes along and picks it up off the bottom. Earlier I caught a couple of fish by just swimming this lure, not sort of bouncing it on the bottom, and I actually had a hit or two where I was swimming it, had a hit, missed the hit, and then just killed the lure and let it drop to the bottom. And I think the fish that hit it came over and picked it up off the bottom. So that's one of the great things about this lure, is there are lots of ways that you can fish it. I think we're at fish number 7. This guy's not that big, but he's got some weight to him. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Got him hover strolling this thing a little bit, and he hit it hard and ran with it. I don't know if hover strolling is the right terminology, but I think it is. I cast it out, just started moving the rod tip in very rhythmic, short twitches while reeling in slowly. It gives a little bit of an action, like the lure is sort of swimming a little bit erratically like a minnow. It's become a very popular technique for bass fishing, certainly not for creek fishing in 1.25 feet of water. Let's see if I can show you depth here. Yeah, still not at my knees yet here in terms of depth, but it worked. Fish number 8 is the first appearance of our friend the smallmouth bass. Pretty typical size smallmouth from this tiny little creek. It's a shame I don't think you can see it, but in this relatively shallow little area, there's a decent sized carp kind of pushing around. He came pretty close to me, but I think by the time the camera turned on, he was too far away to see. In the meantime, I caught this little guy just right over there, and I actually didn't feel him hit, but I was watching my lure and saw him hit, which is pretty cool. Okay, fish number 10, I think. I missed a couple of hits in the meantime. Starting to fish a little bit more quartered downstream over in this bank, and there do seem to be quite a few fish over in that bank area. It's a little difficult to fish too downstream because you end up just picking up leaves. Let's get this guy back. Fish number 11. Not that big, but he beautiful, and he hit quite hard. Wanted to go and take it home with him, I think. Fish number 12, kind of a medium-ish guy. Again, very pretty. Mostly male so far. I think we're at fish 13. This is a little tiny red breast. Very frustrating because I hooked and lost a very nice looking either red breast or bluegill. It was much, much bigger than any of the ones that I have caught so far today. And as always is the way with fishing, you sort of hook and see and then lose a big one anyway. Fish number 14, I think. This guy hit it going the other direction and hit it so hard he took drag. Little teeny guy, but he was feisty. Fish number 14 is a pretty decent sized fall fish who really inhaled it. I'm going to do some surgery on this guy, get him back quick. All right, he's good to go. Number 15 is a little guy. He picked on a lure that's pretty close to his size, I think. That's also a pretty good look at the micro tiny TRD or whatever it's called. This is the color, it's called the deal, and it's a great minnow imitation color. Let's get this guy back. Very next cast, fish number 16. Nice red breast. Not huge, medium, I guess. Number 16, I think we're up to. Rare female red breast. You can see because it's not so bright in the belly, kind of not the bright blue on the side, just a little bit more drab in color. Does have a little bit of the turquoise on the cheek, but not too much of it. Medium sized little girl. So one thing I find in these little creeks, they're so shallow. The fish, these are native fish, and it's not they're not like spooky brown trout or anything, but they're, they can be a little wary. And, I'm a pretty big person on a little tiny creek like this to be wading around in a foot of water and disturbing the environment. And it's a very calm day, as you can see. There's a little current flow down the creek, but any movement I make sends ripples all over the place. And I have discovered that two things. One, if you can make long casts, you do well because you're getting out of these immediate area that you've disturbed with your presence. And two, if you can pick a spot and just stay in that spot and wait 5 or 10 minutes and just cast and fish quietly and calmly, usually you can, the fish will sort of settle back into their regular routine after a few minutes if they haven't spooked off by your presence. When you're waiting around, that really does create a lot of disturbance. So being stealthy, not necessarily sneaking around, but being aware of the noise you're making and your presence, and being patient and letting a spot come back to life can be a pretty good thing. And just again, if you can make long casts, then you can sort of cast out to more undisturbed areas. You might be up to fish number 18 or so now. Nice little fall fish. He fought hard and was pretty feisty for his size. Fish number 18 is another pretty decent sized fall fish. All in the same stretch where I've been catching these other last few pawfish. Let's get this guy back. Fish number 19, another fall fish. He hit it almost when it hit the water. Fish number 20 is our biggest female red breast of the evening. Nice little fish. Fish number 21 is another pretty decent fall fish. Hit it hard. A wiggly one. Fish number 22, another decent fall fish. Next cast after fish 21. Let's get him back. Well, I turned around and I fished my way almost all the way back to where I started with only one hit. It's getting a little bit dark. But finally I just got this little rock bass, which was, I mean, he's a little teeny guy, but added a species, which is nice. Well, it's hard to tell with the camera, at least looks like it's a lot brighter than it actually is. It's pretty well dusk. And thanks for coming along fishing with me this evening on just an incredibly beautiful, perfect fall evening. As always, it's the Brandywine Angler. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.